Tell me why her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud.
Nominate a convicted felon. Insurance fraud, I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
Because at some point, she gonna run her mouth so much it's gonna get you indicted.
How did a convicted felon resonate more with Americans?
The world watched as Sunny Hostin's dramatic fallout from The View played out in the media, headlines, lawsuits, and on-air rants. But what no one saw coming was what happened behind closed doors. While the world was focused on her legal battles, Sunny was planning an exit, an escape from not just the show, but from the United States itself. As rumors swirled and tensions escalated, Sunny's next move would take her far from the spotlight, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. What was she running from? And why did she feel leaving the country was her only option? This is the story the media didn't tell, and it might just make you rethink everything you thought you knew about her departure. It was more than just a lawsuit hanging over Sunny's head. The media's portrayal of her struggle with The View didn't even scratch the surface of what was truly going on. While the tabloids dissected her every move, speculating about her on-air comments and public opinions, there was a much deeper, more complicated story unfolding behind the scenes. The pressure of the public eye wasn't the only thing weighing on her. There were tensions bubbling under the surface that no one could ignore.
Graduation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I didn't feel somber. I felt like the Knicks won the tournament.
Sunny wasn't just dealing with the fallout from the lawsuit or battling public perception. She was grappling with something that threatened to upend everything. She began to grow increasingly paranoid, sensing that those around her, her colleagues, her friends, even the network itself, were turning against her. It wasn't just the professional stress, it was a creeping, all-consuming fear that something far darker was at play. And in the midst of all this, she started to feel more and more isolated. What started as a few uneasy moments slowly turned into a full-blown psychological battle, and those closest to her knew that something was about to break. Sunny's growing paranoia wasn't just in her head, it was becoming a reality. Sources close to the production reveal that Sunny wasn't just worried about the lawsuit, she was increasingly convinced that her colleagues were distancing themselves from her. It wasn't just the pressure of being on TV or the media scrutiny, something felt off behind the scenes. The whispers backstage were growing louder, and they weren't just about the lawsuit or her outspoken views. There were murmurs about her behavior, her decisions, and her increasing sense of unease.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even.
Once confident co-host, known for her sharp commentary and quick wit, started to change. Those who worked with her noticed a shift. Her demeanor was different. She was more cautious, more on edge, constantly looking over her shoulder as if expecting something or someone to come crashing in. The pressure was mounting from all sides, but this wasn't just about the job, it was personal. Colleagues described her as withdrawn, a stark contrast to the vivacious personality she once was on set. At one point during a private meeting, she allegedly made a cryptic remark that sent chills through the room. "I need to get out of here before it's too late." Those words didn't just echo through the walls of the studio, they left everyone wondering what exactly she was running from. Was it just the legal troubles, or was there something more? As the days passed, those who overheard her comments would later recall them as the first warning signs of a deeper, more unsettling truth. One that wasn't just about a lawsuit or a falling out, it was the beginning of a much bigger unraveling. What no one expected was the secret plan Sunny had already started to put into motion.
Health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do. So there are a lot of problems with it.
While the media was fixated on her legal troubles, her every move scrutinized and dissected, Sunny was quietly making preparations that no one saw coming. She wasn't just worried about the lawsuit or her relationships at The View, she was planning a far more dramatic exit. Sunny wasn't just looking to leave the show, she was making the bold decision to flee the country entirely. The public thought they knew the story, the sensationalized headlines and courtroom drama, but Sunny had already started laying the foundation for something much bigger. This wasn't a hasty, emotional reaction, it was a calculated, strategic move. For weeks, Sunny had been quietly making arrangements, ensuring that her departure would be seamless and covert. She consulted with legal advisors, began researching international locations, and discreetly began making travel plans. No one outside of her inner circle had any inkling of what was unfolding. Every move was deliberate. She knew that once she made the decision, there was no going back.
She got on television. She got She run these women. Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud, and
And as tensions continued to escalate at The View, her plans took shape. The groundwork was in place for a quiet escape, one that would shock the world when it came to light. And then it happened. The world thought they understood the situation when the media reported her absence from the final broadcast as a personal day. But those who were close to the production knew there was more to it. Sunny didn't just take a break, she vanished. It wasn't just about taking time off to rest or regroup. This was a deliberate, quiet exit. Under the cover of night, with no one the wiser, Sunny packed up her dressing room, carefully avoiding the curious eyes of her colleagues. She was no longer just a co-host on The View. She was preparing for something far more drastic. Every item she packed, every conversation she avoided, was part of a larger plan to disappear without a trace. Her departure was methodical, executed with precision to ensure that no one would follow her. She made sure that her movements were concealed, hiding her true intentions from even the closest colleagues. And within just a few days, Sunny was gone. She boarded a private flight, one that had been arranged at the last minute, under a pseudonym.
Because at some point she gonna run her mouth so much it's gonna get you indicted. Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud.
The flight wasn't booked through regular channels, nor was it a commercial journey. It was a secretive operation, designed to ensure that Sunny's whereabouts remained hidden. And so, she was off, bound for Europe. But why Europe? What was it about this continent that made it the perfect refuge? Was it just to evade the media circus back home? Or was there a deeper, more strategic reason behind choosing a destination so far from the US? Sunny's quiet departure raised even more questions, leaving everyone to wonder if there was something more she was running from than just the press. Some speculate that Europe offered the perfect refuge. With its stricter privacy laws and slower news cycle, it became a shield for someone in the midst of a media firestorm. Was this just a break from the chaos, or did Sunny have bigger reasons to escape? Sources close to her suggest that she was advised to leave by a network of high-profile legal advisors. The fear? That her financial dealings and private correspondence could become targets as the lawsuit escalated. The advice was clear: get out before things spiral further. Sunny's first stop after landing in Europe raised even more questions.
Yeah. I felt like New York won. I felt like the Manhattan DA's office won. I felt like I won.
Geneva, a city home to some of the most powerful legal and financial institutions in the world, was rumored to be her first destination. Was she seeking legal counsel? Sources say she visited a boutique law firm specializing in international asset protection. What could this mean? Could it be that Sunny wasn't just running from the press, but from a much deeper set of problems? Sunny's disappearance was so complete, it felt like a vanishing act. One moment she was at the center of a media frenzy, and the next she was gone, without a trace. The tabloids and paparazzi scrambled for answers, but every attempt to uncover her whereabouts was met with silence. Her team, fiercely protective of her privacy, stayed tight-lipped, offering no clues or insights into her sudden absence. No one knew where she was, what she was doing, or if she would ever return. The mystery surrounding her exit only deepened with each passing day. The media, starved for a story, dug even harder. Every lead they followed seemed to evaporate before it could yield any answers.
How about we add some additional fraud charges onto you, threatening him with insurance fraud, which I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
They scoured Europe, checking airports, hotels, and even private resorts, but it was as if Sunny had disappeared from the face of the earth. The public was left to speculate wildly. Was she hiding from the legal battle, evading the press? Or was there something even more personal at play? No matter where they turned, the answers remained elusive, and the longer the silence continued, the more compelling the mystery became. Sunny's absence wasn't just a break from the spotlight, it was the beginning of a real-life enigma that no one could crack. The media's desperation to find her only added fuel to the fire, but each failed attempt made the silence even more deafening and the questions surrounding her departure even more tantalizing. And then, the truth started to unravel. The lawsuit that everyone thought was the catalyst for Sunny's departure, it was only the beginning. What seemed like a simple defamation claim soon revealed itself to be part of a larger campaign to dismantle her credibility. Powerful figures were aligning against her, using the lawsuit as a weapon to silence her outspoken views. But the stakes were higher than anyone could have imagined. Leaked emails and rumors suggest that Sunny's departure was part of a secret deal with ABC. Was she offered a lucrative settlement in exchange for her silence? Insiders
let's not
claim that
forget
the
who she
deal
is.
included a
While
non-disclosure
Dr. Hostin
agreement
battles
so
legal
airtight
fire,
that
Sunny
even her
Hostin
closest
has
friends were
remained
left in the
conspicuous.
dark.
The
Could Sunny
allegations
have been
against
protecting
Dr.
something?
Hostin
Something
go
so
beyond
big that the
routine
network
medical
was willing to pay her
controversies.
off to stay quiet?
It's a
As
classic
Sunny
he
retreated
who
from the
lives in a
public
glass
eye,
house
the ultimate
argument,
question
and it's got
remained,
enough bite to
what was
keep
she
things.
protecting
This
herself
story is
from?
far from
The
over,
lawsuit was the
and the
obvious
revelations
catalyst,
that
but
lie
could there be
ahead.
something even
For now,
bigger
all we can
lurking
do
beneath the
is
surface?
wait,
A
watch,
deeper
and try to
scandal, a
separate
dark
fact from
secret, or a
fiction.
powerful
Whether
figure
Dr. Hostin
whose influence
Make sure
could
to
topple
subscribe
careers.
and hit the
With her
bell
silence
icon
growing louder,
to stay
Sunny's
updated as
story
this
is
dramatic
far from
saga
over.
unfolds.
And
The
until she
truth
breaks that
remains
silence,
elusive,
the world will
but one
continue
thing
to
is
wonder,
clear.
what
Reputable
really drove her to
surgeon,
flee the
he's
country?
now at the center
Sunny
of one of the
Hostin may be out
largest
of sight,
healthcare
but
fraud
she's
scandals
far
in New
from
York's
out of
history.
mind.
Originally
Whether
designed to
she's protecting
dismantle
herself from a
organized
massive
crime
scandal or
networks
planning a dramatic
involving
return,
180
one thing is
defendants.
clear. Her
Sunny
story will
herself
continue to
often spoke
captivate,
about their
provoke,
shared
and intrigue
values.
the world for years
Let's
to come.
dive deep into a
Keep
tale
watching,
that feels
because
like,
Sunny's
is she
silence
standing
is
by her
anything but
husband in
ordinary,
solidarity?
and the truth,
Others wonder
whatever
if
it may
she's
be,
grappling
has
with the
yet to be
personal
fully
toll this
revealed.
scandal